All right, hello our dear viewers. I want to thank you so much for tuning in on 4TV. Today it's another great opportunity. I have this specialist, call him a professor in counseling. He has gotten through a lot to take us through. Mr. Isima,
yes, please.
Tell us, who is Isima?
Thank you very much. My name is Bagaga Isima. I am a counselor and I am a proud member of the Counseling Association. I have an experience dealing with youth, mostly in the university setting, but also youth in schools. And I give speeches that make people motivated to live a meaningful life so that we get responsible citizens in the future.
All right, that's very good, Isma.
Yes,
we are looking at mental health. Very many young men and women, actually the adults, they're mentally ill. How do you have to say about that?
Thank you very much. The viewer there needs to know what is mental health.
Yes.
When we talk about mental health, we are talking about the state of the mental activity of a human being, the state with which a person uses his mental abilities to take decisions to survive in the world today. We have many cases of mental health, like you said, Apostle. And the unfortunate thing is people don't know that they have issues with their mental health.
Right.
And they go to a level where they lose their in the youthful life. They say they go ahead to lose their cool. And that is when they get to realize that they have issues with mental health. And the second thing is people don't want to talk about mental health. And because maybe they don't know the signs of mental health. I want to just break through a few things. There are signs that we may not see, but they are visible signs that show that somebody is not actually in their full mental state. And one of them is isolation.
Isolation.
Yes. The parent in there, the manager in there, the school head teacher and the teachers around.
Yes.
All youth are gregarious in nature. And that's why you see they move in groups. Every time you start watching individual people isolating themselves from the community, it is one of the reasons that, or the one of the signs we get to know that somebody has a mental disorder. And then two, another sign is lack of sleep. Yeah, but you know, people take it for granted. But a human being is supposed to sleep. Whenever a person says you've gone to sleep, it is the body to rest, but the brain keeps refreshing themselves. Let me take this far a little bit. If you have a laptop and it has started freezing a little bit, what do? You switch it off. When you switch it off and reboot, it has already refreshed. As a human being, we also need this. But people don't want to do it. And people take pride in not sleeping. For me, I can spend 3 days without sleeping. Truth be told, you have a problem. And you don't want to recognize it. And then some other people, this one is a little bit funny. But some other people, when they have mental issues, they eat a lot. While others don't eat at all.
Actually, others do drink a lot.
Then, now drinking, okay, others drink a lot. So, if you are going through some of these things, my brother and sister out there, you need to go and see a psychologist. You need to come to some of the counselors and just get to tell them the story. I know you'll get somebody who will help you go through. You know, sometimes people have problems and they think it is the biggest in the world. But when you share with people, you'll get to realize that, okay, yours is maybe just a drop in the ocean. There are many problems.
So now, Isma,
yes, please.
You know, what triggers mental health? You give us some more insight on that.
Some of the causes of mental health apart from those who think it is hereditary,
Yeah.
but most of the causes are environmental.
Environmental.
Yes. One of them is stress.
Stress.
Yeah. You're stressed,
Yeah.
and you stress for a long time.
Yeah.
Let me give an example of a setting that I know. There are students who just get stressed because their parents have not paid.
Yeah.
And the student is getting stressed whether he'll finish the course or not.
Yeah.
And they keep going, and their state of mental ability keeps deteriorating. And before you know it, they started drugs.
Yeah.
They start with isolation. They don't want to attend lectures. They go in the room. They don't have what to eat.
Yeah.
They start drugs. And when they start drugs, they get addicted to drugs. At the time when you get addicted, you cannot do without drugs.
Yeah.
And when you start the drugs, you start degenerating. It is worse when you see somebody, the one mostly people call a mad person.
A mad person.
Yes, they are. But if they were managed earlier, probably they would heal.
Yeah.
And when they go to that level, they have gone to a level of degeneration.
Yes.
The next level is death.
Is death. True.
Either through suicide, committing suicide, or because they will get opportunistic diseases and they'll die.
Could poverty be one of the key things that can trigger the mental health?
Yeah, generally now, poverty is the leading cause of stress. If you look at the poverty levels, they are telling you 66% are vulnerable according to the studies around. But for youth, there are many, many things. Insecurity, low esteem. I can tell you there are girls who want to commit suicide because the boy says you are not beautiful. And that depresses them. They stop eating. They, before you know it, they are dehydrated. If you don't do it that way, they are leading to mental disorders.
Actually, cases of suicide here in Fort Portal and some other areas have been following the news. It has been increasing.
Even the state of aggressiveness. Because if somebody is not mentally stable, they are quick to react.
True.
And because they have pain beneath them, the only thing they can do is to inflict pain. Okay? They either inflict pain physically, they inflict pain emotionally, and if they feel it is not good enough, they go to a level of inflicting pain on themselves. And that leads to suicide. So let me urge people out there. As counselors, we encourage people to share. If it were possible, every person, young and adult, would have a confidant. And this confidant is a counselor. Because if you have a situation you're going through and you share it with somebody, and this somebody is a professional counselor, a professional psychologist, I want to tell you they will guide you through the process for you to make an informed decision. Decisions that are irrational lead you to nowhere apart from a dead end. This is why I encourage people. Church has helped us to counsel people. Or let me use religious institutions have helped us to at least counsel people. Institutions like schools, universities, please employ professional counselors because you're dealing with a vulnerable age. An age of a youth who feels the energy, who thinks they know it all, and if you don't guide them well, they are bound to be rowdy, and we may end up losing a useful person. Today, mental health is one of the silent monsters in the country.
True. Absolutely, yes.
It is a monster that I call upon all counselors, all psychologists, and all doctors to come and we put hands together, heads together, and we save a life where people are moving with us and they are sick and you cannot know.
So now, Isma,
Yes, please.
as we are in conclusion of this great topic, I'm looking at counselors, we are few.
Yes.
Secondly, we cannot reach anywhere. Thirdly, these are people that are in a society where even they cannot be identified. Shall we not just more death of our people? How best can we do this?
Thank you, Apostle. I would want to tell people that the community has not understood the role of a counselor.
Yeah.
Because people think you only get healed when you swallow tablets. When you swallow, probably they inject you. But you see, one of the best medicines is fellowship.
Wow.
When you fellowship with people, you learn to coexist, you learn to express yourself, and you get informed information that help you to take informed decisions. It is all over. For the religious leaders, you use the religious books. The reason as to why these religions have grown is because the fellowship. Now, men, we don't want to share. And that is why you see, in most cases, mental health hits hard the male species, because we have the ego that tells people, I can do it myself. We don't even want to cry. Let me tell you, man looking at me, crying is normal. Yes, if you don't want to cry in the community, go in your bed, cry and relieve the tension, and then come back when you have taken a decision that will help. These girls, because they fellowship too much, we call it lugambo. But for us as a counselor, it is healthy.
It's healthy.
Because they are pushing out all the pressures they have, and eventually they come when they are relieved. Because every time they share, they get experiences that they think are worse than their conditions, and it helps them to grow. If we don't fight mental health, we shall have qualified doctors who are treating us with addicted mind. We shall have teachers who are addicted, therefore aggressive to our children. We shall have parents who are fighting each and every day because of their stress. Therefore, the next generation, they will have a very bad state of mental affirmativeness.
Wow.
Thank you for listening to me.
Wow.
If you want to get more of this, please just go and sign in to the Bagaga Therapeutic Show on YouTube. You look through what we are sharing, like it, subscribe, and you'll enjoy this episode of Mental Health. See you in the next episode.
Wow, a counselor is a very important person, you and I, that we need. For this, I'm Godfrey. Thank you.